Alright, I just had the most terrible time trying to record the sequel to the last video, and I ran into some problems and I went over on time, and I had to delete it. All that, 10 minutes of talking, all wasted, it's very sad. So I've deleted what I'd gotten to and gone back to where we were before, and now I'm going to tell you again, for you the first time, and for me the second time, how to do ilist to ivector. Alright, so I already explained how it works, so let's see. So if this list is empty, that means that we've gone through the vector and everything is good. Then we can just return the vector. So remember, list vector to list just pretty much returns a list, and this list of I vector returns the vector. Okay, so next, if it's not null, that means we've still got to do some work on the vector. We've got to change the vector at position I to be equal to the car of my ls. Now then we've got to, after we do that, then we've got to run helper again with incrementing I as one more and then doing the coder of my ls. So how are we going to do both of those things? And the answer is to use the begin statement. Begin lets you do as many things as you want, and then only the last thing, evaluation, is the thing that actually gets returned. Okay, so begin actually went through here and looked at true, then it looked at 3, and then it added 3 and 6, and then it found out it was at the end, so it returned the value of 3 and 6, which was 9. But it actually evaluated those. So if we would have done like begin plus 4, 4, then let's do display high. I would just do high, then 5. Okay, so really, you see, it displayed high first, and then it returned the value of 5. Okay, so we're going to use begin here. Begin, and what we want to do is we want to change the vector at position I, right? So we have to use vector set bang, vector at position I. And what do we want to change it to? We want to change it to the car of my ls. My ls. Alright, then next we want to return the helper of, or just run the helper of the same vector at the next interval, the next position at I, and the coder of my ls. Alright, and let's make sure we call helper, and for the vector, what we want to call, we want to make the empty vector, remember? Make vector ls. No, make vector of the length of ls. So we're making a vector that's the same length as ls. And then for the I, since we want to start at the beginning of the vector, let's start at 0, and then my ls will just be ls. ls taken from up here. Alright, so let's run this and see if it works. So ilist to ivector, ilist to ivector, bc. There we go, it works. We've got a nice vector. Alright, so let's move on then and define vector map. Okay, so you recall regular map, square root. It works on lists, so like 1, 2, 4, 9. Oops, 2 doesn't have a nice square root, I forgot. Alright, so we get nice square roots here. Okay, so let's, but if you run that on a vector, it will give you an error because it works on lists, not on vectors. So let's define the vector map, which works on vectors. It's like map, but works on vectors. Okay, lambda v Okay, so we need a helper function because we're going to have to create an index value that we iterate through. Alright, let rec helper lambda I. Oh, vector map. You may have noticed I only took a vector, but map takes a procedure and a vector, so let's make sure we take a procedure as well. Procedure and vector. Alright, lambda I. So on vector map it just goes through each one, running it on the car of I, and it rebuilds the list and gives you a new list. So this one we're going to mutate the vector. Oh, do we mutate it? No, we don't mutate the vector. We've got to copy the vector, I think. Well, let's see what it does. Yeah, we've got to make a whole new vector, unfortunately. Okay, so let's remember up here oh, well, that's not that bad. Alright, so let's make a new vector. We'll just put it in a let statement. How big should the vector be? Obviously the same size as v. So make new v equal make vector of vector length v. Okay, now we'll indent all those. Okay, so now whenever at the end of this we want to return new v, because that will be the new mutated one. So whenever I gets to the end of v, then we're done and we can return new v. So let's check if equals I vector length v, then let's return new v. Otherwise let's oh, we've got to run the proc on the index, the element in vector v, and then vector set bang it into the new vector. So let's vector set bang the new v at position I with proc running on the vector ref of vector old v at position I. Alright, and after we do that we've got to call helper again on the next I, so we have to put this in a begin statement. Begin. Now let's call helper at +1I. Alright, so I think that's pretty much a winner of a function, but let's try it by running. Oh, we've got to make sure you call helper at position I. Okay, let's try it. I have no idea if this will actually work. Well, I have some idea that it will work, but I don't know for sure. I didn't just copy it out of my notes or anything. Vector map. Alright, then square root 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, splendid, it worked. Let's do a better one. Vector map square root of 1, 4, 9, 16. Oh, look at that, it worked quite well. Alright, well, I do believe that that is about the end of what I'm going to have you do for vectors. Oh no, we've got some more special things coming up with vectors actually. Okay, well, I'll see you next time.